That's a nice place.
Damon's my favorite, though.
Yeah. It's real comfortable.
We are in this together.
Good evening. Welcome to Donkey Talk. I have the privilege tonight to have Mayor Hart on the show. Thank you for coming, Mayor.
All right, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting.
I am excited, so thank you.
And what you just got done doing a couple interviews with KWWL and
Yep, and with the Grove Cedar Valley as well. So yeah, it's been a press-filled day. So yeah.
you're important.
Well, no, it's just good where you can talk about so many incredible things that are taking place within our community and allowing us to kind of talk about that story. So I appreciate it. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, on Donkey Talk, what I like to do is have you start with your journey of when you were young, kind of expand to when you're into politics and a Democrat.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. And once again, thank you for the platform. I was born and raised here in Waterloo.
Mm-hmm.
I went to every school I've gone to, the name seems to have changed. I went to Grant, which is now Cunningham. I went to Logan, which is now Carver. And then I went on to Waterloo East High School, but, played basketball, football. My parents, Lily and Grossie Hart, were both transplants from Mississippi. And my dad ended up coming to Waterloo. His brother called him and said he was work when he got out of the service. And my mom moved up with her mother and her sisters as well. So I am born and raised and a Waterloo kid. Well, not so much kid anymore.
That's neat. Your roots are from here.
Absolutely. Had a great opportunity. I went to colleges after that. Went to Iowa Central and Fort Dodge, and I went to Minnesota State where I got my BA. But what's really interesting, when I got ready to go to college, my dad would go in, he worked at John Deere, would go in at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning before his shift starts, and he would work that overtime so he can put me through school. And my mom worked at Allen Hospital, and my mom used to always slip these letters into my bag when I went back to college with money in it and a card just saying how much she loved me, how much she's proud of me. So, it's just, two incredible
Awesome
people. They set the bar high.
Yeah.
So just grateful.
That's wonderful. Well, so what took you in the turn? Your parents weren't really involved in politics, so what
Right.
took you into politics and mayor and city council?
Well, when I came back home, prior to going to grad school at UNI, I was just noticing, why didn't this change, or why isn't this happening? And then there was this Chamberlain site off of East 4th Street that was kind of just left. They did washers and stuff for during, I think it was the Gulf War. But I used to be like, there's just something wrong with that place, and then seeing the amount of abandoned homes we had. So I started to get a little bit more engaged, and my uncle Joe Collier was a city councilman, and then my cousin Willa Mae Wright was a city councilwoman as well. So I guess it was kind of in my blood, but not really in my blood.
You were related to Willie Mae.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was still an incredible mentor who just won an award too. So shout out to Miss Willa Mae. But so I ended up running for a state seat that opened up through redistricting, and I lost. I ran against Deborah Berry, Joe Rodriguez, and then Melvina Scott, God rest her soul. And I ended up losing. I came in second on that, which was a really good showing. And then Deb vacated her seat, her 4th Ward seat, and I ran for that. And guess what? I lost. I lost again, and to Mr. John Kincaid. God rest his soul as well, who's an incredible human being. Couldn't have lost to two better people.
Right.
But after that, 4 years later, I ended up running for that city council seat. I formed a nonprofit. I was working at Hawkeye Community College, and I ended up finally winning that seat. And I served 2 terms as a city councilman, and then I'm in my 3rd term as mayor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
See, nobody even ran against you. They knew how good you were.
I'm not going to say that. You know, what I will say is I'm so appreciative of the opportunities that I've been given. You know, growing up here, yeah, I was here through the 80s, seen all the challenges. I've seen the farm crisis hit. I've seen, you know, John Deere's, and they're having to decrease their overall workforce. I've seen Rath Packing Plant. I've seen CMC. I've seen Chamberlain. I've seen that shift within our community, and I've seen the social problems that came in as well back in the 80s. So my life, I think, kind of reflects the city of Waterloo. You had ups and you had, you know, downs, but I think we're in a very incredible situation now. We're seeing dynamic things taking place from, you know, our downtown revitalization. I think over the last 18 months, we may have had close to 45 businesses move downtown. We're seeing, the Ramada Inn is now going to be a Best Western Plus, with McKinda coming in and having a multi-million-dollar development, and all of those incredible things that are happening downtown. And then another thing that people don't realize, the city of Waterloo has 6 industrial parks. We have the Northeast Industrial Park. We have the Northeastern. Oops, I just said that. Well, we have 6 industrial parks, but the one up by Logan Plaza and ConAgra and that whole corridor is happening. The one off of South 63 with Harold Youngblood and, you know, all those developments happening. So we're really in an incredible, incredible time of growth, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, how are any of our fundings getting cut with the administration that is running the government right now, as far as that goes?
You mean on the federal level or
Yeah.
the local level?
Well, both.
On the federal level, we're constantly monitoring what's happening with our housing authority, what's happening with our community development block grants, what's happening with the FAA, with our local airport. So we're always cognizant of those changes. And, you know, federally too, some of the programs that we have within our school district or to fix bridges. So we're always trying to be at the pulse of those things changing, because you have different leadership.
Yes.
You have different things that are happening. But one of the things we do every year, we have what we call the Cedar Valley Coalition. And this is a group, Waterloo, Cedar Falls, the school systems for both communities, UNI, Hawkeye, and a couple different agencies. So hopefully they don't mind. I just can't remember them all. But we take a trip to meet with our federal legislators to kind of tell them what's happening. This is what we're seeing. This is what we need. This is how you can support, and kind of keeping our ears to the ground of what's happening there so that we can be prepared. So we have that.
That's
but it's a great way. But my challenge is what is happening on the state level. Because there's been some changes in the formulas that have been used for monies that were coming to the cities for years, and we're receiving less of that. And so, yes, on the state level, they may be cutting taxes, but somebody's going to have to pay for that loss of income, and that goes directly to the backs of the citizens within our local community. You know, the challenges we have with the ability to be able to bargain right now, that's a challenge. And right now, the city of Waterloo has one of the most aggressive plans for the Fair Chance Initiative, which helps to get people interviews that may have records, or they may be ex-offenders, but we're just talking about getting them an interview. And we have been having a lot of challenges. And part of that challenge is because the way that it's being communicated on the state to the actual intent of what we're doing. So,
Communications,
yeah, we're having a year And, there's this thing called home rule. And it gives cities, I'll paraphrase it, it gives cities the ability to govern their cities in a way that's beneficial to their citizens. So
Sounds great.
yeah, we are being upended at a very fast pace from our state to our local communities as well. So it is a trying time for cities. But we do our best to work across the lines within our local communities in our state.
So I want to know, what did you want to be a governor or be in politics when you were young?
No. When I was at Grant School, I wanted to be an airplane pilot.
Oh, okay.
And then from an airplane pilot, I think I started out in college to go from business to kind of education. And then I worked at Hawkeye for 18 years, Hawkeye
wow.
Community College, in a myriad of different positions in higher ed, administrative. And so I really wanted to be a community college president and just do that, because you think about all the young people and the minds that are coming to our campuses. We can have an incredible impact of exposing them to new opportunities and helping them to be able to overcome their challenges. So yeah, I was in higher ed, but it wasn't until my background is very diverse. I've went to East High. I've lived on the Northeast side. I've worked on the Southeast side. So all of those experiences made me believe that the calling that I have right now is to serve in that capacity. So it wasn't something I grew up. You won't find any kindergarten papers.
I want to be president.
Right? No, you won't. Think about it. When you're on council, you can only live in one area during that particular time. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm just glad I'm here, and I'm thankful that people trust. And I always tell people, you don't run so that you can be placed up here and people are here.
That's right.
You don't run because you can sit up on a pedestal and demand and tell people what to do. To me, this is one of the greatest opportunities we can have to support our community. And now, I may be the mayor, but I work for 70,000 people now, because how many people call my offices a day? And I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you. Charge it to my heart, not my head, because it may happen. But I work for 70,000 people. I wake up every morning and I'm like, God, what can I do better to help this community? So I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful I'm here.
That is awesome. So do you have like a big passion being governor that you'd like to see happen to Waterloo?
Wait, you just
what's your
put me in the
vision?
governor's seat, huh?
Okay.
No.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
So what do I want to see here? I want to see that our public infrastructure is built for the future. I say we're not building the city of today, we're building the city for tomorrow. So I want to see our public infrastructure where it needs to be. I want to make sure that people understand that diversity is a strength, not a curse. Diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. I want to impart hope and a sense of togetherness in this community, where our mindset is, I am my brothers and sisters' keeper. I want to be able to transform areas within our community that have been seen not to have moved forward as other areas have, to create this incredible business utopia and educational environment with our school system where people succeed. I want the best of what we have in our community. I want those things showcased, just like the show you're having right now gives an opportunity to talk about the best of who we are as a community, economic development. And if you take a look at what's happening in this great transformation that we're in right now, that's exactly what we're seeing. We had a bad report with regards to the 24/7 Wall Street a year or two ago about Waterloo being the worst place for African Americans to live. And I believe that we need to work together to write a new page and a new chapter for African Americans in our community, for Latinos in our community,
I
and that
agree.
we start to build on the strengths that we have. I think one huge challenge that I see here is people don't know the great opportunities that we do have. They don't understand that we have a museum district. They don't understand that, we have incredible industry. They may not understand that we have good quality of life, because sometimes we think about what we don't have
Exactly.
versus the 55 things that we do have in our local community. But we got a lot of work to do. But I'm just glad I get to work next to you and other people that are willing to roll their sleeves up.
Well, my son, I guess, was work towards it, but he was in the IB program. And I heard that there's only 3 of those in the state of Iowa. There's one in Des Moines, one at East, and one at West. And it's International
So
Baccalaureate.
Yeah.
That was an awesome program.
Absolutely. And I mean, you think about the transformation Waterloo Community Schools just went through with regards, I think we may have had the first one, but the transformation with the Waterloo Career Academy. We are making transformational decisions for the better of our community and bringing our education system to the future. I mean, right now, people don't even know, like, the lighting systems that we have in our local community will be the most advanced technological lighting system in the entire state. We have Lost World, which is going right next to Lost Island, which
I
is
wanted to ask, what is that?
which is a theme park. So it'll be just like Adventureland, just like Six Flags.
Awesome.
That's jobs, that's opportunity. And Lost Island Water Park is number 2 in the United States and ranked in the top 10 in the world. These
Didn't know
amenities
that.
are here: the largest Haitian art collection, the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum, the Sullivan Brother Museums, the Center for Arts. It just goes on and on and on with incredible opportunity here.
Well, I know my daughter has lived in Texas and Connecticut, and she said down at the Center for the Arts that it's one of the best she's ever seen. Their play for the kids is so
Right.
educational. So she just raved about it, and she's been in great big cities.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so
And these are
we are progressive.
These are things for us to be proud about, to celebrate, to brag about, because they're in our local community. Our downtown, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, has so many things. We're not just 2 blocks. We are square miles worth of downtown and revitalization, from revitalizing older buildings, older structures, to building up new right along our riverbanks. So we have incredible potential that we're realizing right now.
yeah, I'm really excited. The future looks good for Waterloo. So what else would you like to share on the show? Is there anything you'd like to tell the people that you don't think they might not know about, or?
Right. Well, people always ask, and when you fill out your voter registration cards and you do that, it's listed as Democrat, of course. And that's primarily our show. The show you have right now is Donkey Talk. But what I've come to realize, through, there are many things that I'm absolutely in agreement with. The healthcare conversation, the college tuition, because so many people are paying student debt, and their jobs that they can get coming out does not keep up. There are so many things that I agree with on that platform. But what I've understood is, regardless of what side of the aisle you stand on, we have to work together. And there's no truer example than in 2016, I happened to be doing sandbags, and there were this group of young people, and they were pouring, and we was doing this, and we were getting this, and we were getting the sandbags ready, right? And I just realized not one time did I ask any of them, where are you from? I found out later they weren't even from here. Not any
my.
time did I ask them, what is your sexual orientation? I didn't ask him, what your religion. I didn't ask any of those things that place us in particular sex, right?
Right.
The only thing people cared about was a common cause and a common purpose. And that is the focus and the challenge for us moving forward is how can we work together? You know, if Congress has a spat about ideological things and they can walk out and have a government shutdown, that's not the expectation that people have from their mayor. They expect, regardless of how I feel, that I will get out there and work on behalf of them with somebody that's purple, red, blue, brown, whatever they are, that we will get out there and work together. And that has to be my focus, because mayor is nonpartisan, and you try to keep that type of politics away. But it boils down to, you know, folks that are willing to roll their sleeves up and get to work and realize that our best days are ahead of us. So that's the type of mentality I try to have, you know, and I aspire to have, because you can't shut down and leave people. They have an expectation that the garbage is picked up. They have an expectation when they turn on that water, there's some water. They have an expectation when they flush the toilet that it goes. That when they call for emergency services, that our people are there, and they're there the fastest possible time. So, you know, I being mayor, I'm just so happy and thankful.
You just have a lot. I'm listening to all the things you're involved in, and I'm getting tired. Oh my
See, I'm
gosh.
putting her to sleep.
No, you're just so busy. But look what you're doing. I mean, I can see the difference. I've lived in Waterloo quite a long time, and I can see the difference in the progression.
Well, I like to say, look what we're doing.
Right.
Because it takes you, it takes a person behind the camera, it takes a person in the back right now that's working. It takes all of us. And it's about rolling those sleeves up and getting to work. But I always have to make sure I never forget to give a shout out to the people that I work down here in City Hall with, whether it's here in the cable studio, whether it's people in my area, whether it's the planners, whether it's the fire department. But, you know, people need to take pride in the incredible people that are working and serving them every day. And oftentimes, you know, people kind of forget about that, but we have to make sure we look out for those that are looking out for us.
Well, you're just an amazing man. But we're coming to the end of the show, so I'd like to thank you for coming on and talking about your journey. I think everybody has a journey, and it's so interesting for me to hear their journey and why you're Democrat, why you picked that mode.
Right. So, like I said, I align with a lot of the fundamental principles within that. I want to. So that's it. But like I said, I have to work with everybody, and that's what my oath is, and that's what I am going to continue to do.
Well, and you know, how boring would the world be if everybody was alike? I mean, we got to have a little chaos, don't we?
Right.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show,
you.
Mayor Hart, and thank you for watching the show. So.
We are in this together, molding the earth with our hands.
We are in this together. Unity must be our plan.
Unity must be our stand.
Rebirthing new thoughts, questioning our wants.